Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to do some more work on my Village Life panel. Now the panel, if you're not sure what this is all about, Susanna from Vintage Blend Studio designed and printed the panel on this cloth, and I'm embellishing it. I'm enjoying working with architecture for a change. Okay, so yeah, if you want the panel, head over to a website, links are below, and grab yourself the panel. So this one here today. Now this one, I can't decide if it's a hotel, a grand house, or a schoolhouse. It's I feel like it's a schoolhouse. I think this town has a very wealthy benefactor who probably lives in this house up here and has put up the money to do a 2-story schoolhouse. I just feel like it's a schoolhouse. I don't know. I think Susanna, in her mind, it was a grand house. So, yeah. Anyway, beside the point, I'm going to have to do this one a little bit differently because this one has a lot of embroidery on it to get the detail. So, I've gone hunting for a see-through fabric. And I've picked this old cotton because I feel like I can see through because it's so thin. I had picked out a linen and then I found this cotton. I did look at some laces. I sort of felt like I could use a lace, but I've settled on this cotton. Now I have started trimming it to size and I'm making it a fraction bigger than the actual piece technically needed, because I think when I start embroidering this, there is going to be a bit of pulling of the fabric into the center. So if it's a fraction bigger, it won't sort of pull to a point where I'll see all my lines. And you can see even the roof. I'm going up under the roof panel. You can see the design underneath. So the first thing I'm going to do is have then a look at the side. Now we've got a panel here on the side of this building. I'm thinking I will do that a separate color. So I'm going to trim this back a little bit so it doesn't peek out from behind everything. That should be okay because there'll be a triangle there and the roof. So let's get ourselves a side panel using the technique we've used on others. And I'm thinking it needs to be in the same color palette as this off-white, but maybe we could get it a little bit darker so it looks like there's a shadow around the side of the building. So let's just get our template. We might also draw this guy. And we might make it a fraction wider so that the roof sits over it nicely. I probably should have used my pencil. Seems to work better on greaseproof paper than those heat erasable pens. But I can see enough to get my shape. It's all good. So how are you all? Hope you're having a lovely day. It's raining here today. We've just had a storm go through. Welcome to Queensland. Brisbane girls, you're probably looking out your window now and going, what's she talking about? I'm pre-recording, so it's just a random day for me. But 4 a.m. in the morning, all hang broke loose as it started pouring. Absolutely poured. This big storm front come through. We have had so much humidity. It had to happen. It just had to happen. It was getting so hot with the humidity. So when the rain came, oh gosh, it was a relief. But shame it was like 4 in the morning. But all it does is wake you up. Now I'm going to attempt to sketch in this. Where's my pencil? Pencil much better. Here it is. when I came into the room this morning too, I could hear this clicking noise. I'd left my iron on. Oh my goodness. I know when I went to bed, I brought this panel in because I'd been stitching on it, and I thought, oh, I'll film this one again tomorrow. I feel like doing it. That's just not going to work. Misjudged the end. Yeah, I was late last night. I'd come into the room and thought, what will I film in the morning? And this panel I'd been working on through the day doing the chapel. And I thought, yeah, I'll keep going with the... that is the bodgiest sketching. I'll keep going with the chapel. And there were lines on the chapel. Look, I'm getting the ruler out. For goodness sakes, I'm doing architecture. We should be using a ruler, shouldn't we? And I've obviously ironed it. And then I've gone off out of the room for whatever reason, sidetracked, squirrel. And I've left the iron on. Oh my goodness. Just scary when things like that happen. It was sitting fine, like it was, there was nothing that was going to interfere with it. Here's the chimneys. Oh goodness. I'll just do the one. I can cut two of them from that little template. Okay, so let's get all our bits. So yeah, I hate it when stuff like that happens. It's like, am I losing the noodle, or is it just not concentrating, just rushing? Details. Accident waiting to happen at times. Just when I thought I was starting to feel a little bit sharper, I've been so doughy lately. I don't know what's going on. I think I've just been doing so much that I'm weary. So I've had a couple of days where I just haven't felt like doing a whole lot, like to the point where I know I need to go out and get some more dog biscuits and kitty litter, but I just couldn't be bothered. So I'm running down and down and down. It's now to the point where I just have to go, and it's just lack of motivation. I don't know what's going on. Now don't tell me I've lost all my bits. Nope, they're there. All right, there's windows in here as well, and I had pulled this fabric out to get some little buttery coloured windows, but I'm thinking I'm going to do all the stitching first. See, that balcony, that'd be beautiful for some lace too. Something to, or a braid. A braid would be beautiful. That'd be nice. Yeah. Okay, stay focused, girl. A roof. What are we going to put on for a roof? Roof. I'm thinking a nice blue. Something like that. Or do we want to go darker? That one's up on that house up here. That one there isn't used. What about this guy? A nice dark roof. That would help make it pop. Let's give it a go. And I really like having checks because it gives you lines, so you know you're straight. Let's show you what I mean. You can see, so if I cut on that black line there, even though the roof is heading off in a slightly different direction, but that could be just my tracing, I know I can cut that fabric and be pretty darn straight. And for a roof, it's not a bad thing. now it's a case of finding that angle and remembering I'm sort of getting a little bit bigger every time I cut these things out, whether it's the paper or the fabric in the end. But I'm okay with that because you can always trim back. I'd rather be that fraction bigger. And this is not accurate needle turn applique too, so if you're new to this style of piecework, for want of a better word, it's a good one because you don't have to be accurate. I went to throw that. No, it's those little treasures. So there's our roof. So now, yeah, and it goes over. That's good. We can trim that back now. And I'll use that as my anchor point. And I think I'm going to come over a bit. I'm going to trim that furry stuff off, the frayed edge. And maybe move my little house over a fraction. It's fiddly, but when you get it, see, that's good. Probably have extended my house a little bit past the design, but I'm okay with that. We've now got that side sorted. You put those pins in it, it pulls it, and you think, uh-oh, there's a side seam. But it's not, it's just that the pin has pulled it. The other thing is that tree. It's something that could be addressed, but do I want to? Are we going to do trees, or are we just going to keep flower bombing it? Just thinking. Let's do the side of the house. This guttering. Gosh, that's got bigger and more distorted. Oh no, because she's done a kooky angle there. That's why. Well, that's all right. I thought I'd jiggered it up. Now, we need a blue that complements but stands out on its own and is a fraction darker. Like, just going into this little pot, this here. So it's there, but it's there, not there. Does that make sense? It is beautiful, beautiful rain. I'd say it's set in for the day. Good day for stitching. This is an odd little angle, so we'll just see how we go. I'd say that's probably a bit too long. And it technically needs to tuck under. See how we go. Underneath that, because it's in the distance. So if we get our point in, oh, it's finicky. And then Susanna has made it straight. I'm going to make it an angle. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, what I might do is I might glue him in because he is just sitting there. So let's get a little bit of reinforcement. There's no way that I can pin him because he's so little. And that little point of fabric is just going to disappear. Oh, don't glue yet. Oh, goodness. It's fiddly, isn't it? That's got it. I might use a brown thread as a highlight thread. I've used white in the little chapel, but I might go more of a brown look, I think. That's better. And I'm going to glue this edge down too, just to hold. Get those points right in corners and you're away. Now, before I get carried away, let's get our chimneys selected. And I'm going to make it a fraction bigger than what Susanna has done. So, what are we going to make our little chimney stacks out of? I don't mind that green I used on the church door, this guy. Or I definitely want it beigey colours. Maybe I'll go to this one again. Yeah, this one will do. Looks like little bricks. And it doesn't have to be exact. I actually need 2, so I'll just cut past a little bit. Cut out 2. Once again, those little fine checks have given me a bit of a gauge of where to stitch. So if that goes in there, there we go, and that one into there. Lovely. Okay, roof, chimney, house, pretty much sorted, I think. Let's now get this art glitter glue into position. Now, another glue you can use is a quilting one. Where is it? That's the refills for it. So Smart. That's the little gluey refills. Can't see the actual glue stick. I'm just finding lately it's hard to come by. It's something the quilting world uses to paper piece and, you know, whole fabrics. The only other thing I'd say about it, if you're looking at investing in it, is if you've got a very delicate fabric and then you're putting on the glue stick, it can disintegrate your glue, oh, your fabric, sorry, because, and you're sort of inadvertently fraying it. So you've got to be a little bit careful. I'm probably a little bit heavy-handed. And because I can't find it regularly, if I want to use a glue stick because I want more glue than on a surface, like say I wanted to glue the whole piece of fabric, I just use a children's glue stick, and it's just enough to hold. Don't pull threads, girls. Snip them off because it could mean trouble. That glue stick's enough to, you know, hold a larger area is what I'm trying to say. But when it's just spot tacking, this is where I like my art glitter glue. A, it's fast, and B, it has a little pointy nib, which allows you to get in to tight little spots. Now, actually, let's just stop. Let's think about this plant. this tree. Where is my nib? Here it is. You've got to always have a stopper in the end, and it's got to be a pin that is steel. If you lose the one that comes with it, you can't just put any old pin in because it will rust it. There's something in it that turns normal pins into a rusty mess. So keep that in mind too. I have learnt the hard way. You start using your glue and you've got a red glue coming out. That's because your pin's rusted, and it doesn't take long, like a matter of a week. So then good luck hunting for some steel pins. Them were the days. They're out there, but boy, not the easiest to find. Now we've got a side panel to this house as well, which I think I just threw the little template in the bin. Did I? I think I did. Good one. Doesn't matter. We can draw another one. It's just a slither. So let's redraw that as well. And this tree, what are we going to do with the tree? Oh, decisions. The reason I probably need to make a decision is the tree is tucked behind this building. It was with the chapel as well, but I wasn't too worried with that. But the tree, and this one goes right up through the roof. That's pretty good. So what are we going to do at the back here? I need it to be a paler version, a darker version of the same sort of fabric. So I'm just jumping up to have a look. Such a fine piece of fabric needed. I think that's so coarse that it's just going to disintegrate on me. This might be better. Calico's a bit boring. This one here is what we're going to use. Yep. It's really just to represent that there's shadow down that side. This is a loose weave, so it's possible it will be a bit of a bugger, but I think I can work with it. Now this might be a good one for, oh no, I'll stick with this, because once again, if we need a V at the top, don't we? If I use the glue stick, there's a high likelihood that it will just disintegrate. Let's get my angle right. Okay, so let's get some glue in there. And I want to push it slightly under that into there, yeah. So it feels like the roof is coming over the top. That's better. That's good. Okay. Can you guys hear the rain? Bandit and Pepper went for a trollop around in the rain and the mud, like you can imagine they do. After they have their breakfast, they go for a bit of a run around the perimeter of the block, check the boundary fence. Make sure all the possums have been in order through the evening. You can tell where the possums have been because they pick up on their scent really quickly. And I can usually work out where the possums are sleeping and in what gum tree or what tree or bush because they go straight to it and they look up. So it's pretty obvious where the possums are. Now I'm just going to trim that a fraction. Just a little bit crooked. Like I'm sweating detail here, like seriously. Overthinking it like usual, but I think architecture does that to you a little bit because you can't hide with angles. So you've got to be a little bit mindful of it looking like a house, I guess. There we go. That'll just hold it and stop it from disintegrating. That's good. It's not exactly straight, but not that a few flowers won't hide, hey? Okay. Tree. We've got to the point where we need to decide. Are we honouring the tree? Or are we keeping it random flowers? So I've got trees at the top here. I wonder if I could use a doily to get the shape of a tree. So that's too big. What about that? It potentially could be used. Be a shame to lose all that. What if we nibble out that so we can use that somewhere else? So I'm being a bit scrappy. And it goes under, comes out from behind. Don't mind that. Where's my flower fabric that I've been using? Where's my cutout bits? Let's fussy cut out a couple of these, guys. I can't decide if I want to bring in this guy into the guts of it. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a different element pop up because I was so focused on the top group of houses being fence line and garden. Now I've drifted down the panel. How am I going to carry the theme of the floral element? Do I bring in other elements to help bulk it up? Let me just cut this out. It's quicker. I guess just thinking. Do we leave the mustard in there? I haven't got any mustard anywhere else. I sort of went down the line of creams and blues. I'm going to take those mustard ones out. Get rid of that little guy and just keep it to the colour palette from above for now. So do we creep in flowers? I don't know. Do we have these roses as a rose bush? Trimmed down to create a tree. What else is here? This one's more of an open flower, but still not open. And let's trim this guy out. It's caught my eye because it's bigger. And I like those white flowers. So let's just have a little play with this. That there could be, if I go down the tree path, I can easily do lace into there to show the tree. Just bear with me, guys, as I try and work out a plan here. I guess I'm struggling with more of a abstract version of the garden, or I follow the lay of the land and actually keep building a garden. You know, so it's a little bit more realistic or abstract. If I go abstract, I've got more options. If I go realistic, I guess it's harder, isn't it? Fussy cutting out this little guy. You probably can't even see because I'm concentrating, plus planning in my brain. I'm going to detach that. Just trim that because it's a little bit frayed. So if that's slid in there, I don't think I want to use that, guys. I want to take that away. And I think I'm going to have it as just a random piece on the boundary. I just can't, just not quite right. So therefore, I'm going to fussy cut in huge big trees. Huge big trees. I'm going to work the flowers through that zone. I think I'll need that air through there. I might be able to do something with lace there. So where's some more flowers? This fabric here. So looking for flowers that are on the side of something like that there. See, that's on the corner of the fabric. That's good. That's where we want to be in the shape. Of course, you could just cut your flowers in half, but having it already sliced like that is good. So let's fussy cut this little guy out. Now I want to bring some lacy bits in amongst it as well, so I can't get too carried away with fabric flowers. It's all about the house today, not so much the flower building, but the house is forcing me to make some decisions. Yeah, there we go. That's good. And then a lighter flower in there, so go back to that first fabric. I'm thinking those two because it might bend around the corner of the house a little bit. Let's just cut it out. Getting two in a cluster is good because it breaks up that single blotchy look that you can get if you're just placing one flower at a time. I don't need that delicate stuff, so let's cut. I just glanced down here to see my design, and I definitely don't need that delicate stuff. I'm not bringing mustard in, not at this stage. There's a bud, which I nearly cut off. Yeah, that's going to come around the corner. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I think we have a plan, guys. We've made some decisions. So what I'll do is finish fussy cutting this little fellow out. And then we're going to need to actually glue these ones into position so that I can anchor the side of the house, so I can embroider the side of the house. Then I'll toddle off and do some embroidery. And then when I get back, oh, we got heaps of time. Okay. I thought we were getting a bit tight on time, but no, we're not. So I can keep building this flower business, can't I? That's quite delicate in there. Let's just trim off a lot of those little bits, because they'll never be stitched. More of a simple flower. I might just go grab also my box of little doily motifs. I feel like I need to get some background fabric in behind as well. Like that's sort of in behind it all. Now, this little guy, he is going to is he going to go under the house, over the house? There's a window there. Don't really want to cover the window. I can a little bit, but maybe it needs to be that. That's probably better. We'll fiddle with it anyway. Let me just grab a doily container. So these guys, I just want to have a play with adding some interesting elements in addition to the flower. Just to sort of, looks like a blob. It's more subtle, so that's okay. Maybe things like that can be tucked in. Sort of felt like I needed to soften the edge of the flowers as well to create a little bit of interest, just to peek through. Now this here, what are we going to do there? I think we cut flowers out, you know. It's like they're nearly overgrown, isn't it? I feel like I need something in there. Sorry, I went quiet. This here's bugging me. It's too matchy-matchy. Well, not matchy-matchy, but I can't see a difference. I'm just leaning over to my, see this little guy here? I've got this. And I'm thinking I'm going to tuck a piece of this in just to break it up a little bit. My poor little house is certainly getting covered. Yeah. See, that just pushes this guy back a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, just needed something. Okay. All right, now what I need to do is I don't need any of this here at this stage. So all of that needs to go over there. We'll pop a couple pins in. So we've got a rough design. So that's how we're going to proceed. It's going to be a combination of flowers and crocheted elements, textures, meandering their way around this centerpiece. Okay, so I think I'll pin him. I'm happy with him. I still think if I stitch him down, I just put a few stitches in the center because I may want to sneak in, that's not a good example, but I might want to sneak in some little pieces of fabric. But this has to be all adhered because it holds, it's under that house. So let's just methodically work around these edges to get that adhered. And that. It'll be all just tucked in. Do I bring that petal over that? Yes. That's better. It's just the tiniest amount of tacking, but it's enough just to stop. And it's when you get to the couch and it's working on your lap and everything's sliding around. So what I might do is there's a crease there. Might just get the iron on. Oh goodness, turn the iron on. That's fraught with danger, isn't it, guys? Let's plug that iron in. Oop, what did I just knock? A box of beads. That's all right. Lid was on. It's okay. I'm just going to iron that and get that flat. And then the next thing I want to do is draw in all of my lines to stitch. So then I'm ready to go. Still not convinced that this piece here has a home. I just don't know. I love it. I have more of it somewhere, but at the moment it's just hanging around on the piece, you know, when you pin an element onto your work and you're just not 100% sure. I won't go crazy with glue out there because I may want to tuck something in, but that's secure enough. Alrighty. Now, gosh, I've got a mess. I need to draw in some key design elements. So we have a railing going through. Now that could end up being a braid or something. So if we get that drawn, that'll anchor our building. We need a side, just to denote that we do have a building, so we need that side stitching done and along the bottom. Now we've got posts going up. Where is the second one? See, I'm lucky girl. I've got this to help me with my design. I could have taken a photo too. So we've got a post that's going right through from top to bottom, and it actually lines up with a post in the railing. So that's easy. 1, 2. Over here is the next one. There's a bit of a gap. Once you start getting your lines in, your big white blob starts to take shape. Then she's created some fretwork. So that's easy enough to stitch. Another one here. Gee, that's crooked. Sorry guys. Don't know what happened there. Oh, for goodness me. Making a hash of it now. Let's just go back. I couldn't quite get the fretwork in. I'd say my lines have got a little bit thick too, so I will adjust that when it comes time. That's better. It's not so deep. My roof has come down a little bit lower too, so that in itself has architecturally adjusted it, but we'll see how we go. Okay. Then we've got this doorway. Now at this stage, I haven't decided whether it just will be embroidered in or it will actually be a colour on its own right. We'll decide that. Let's just sketch it in. And then there's a big doorway down here. My feeling is I will put fabric there. It's an opportunity to create interest in the piece. So my gut instinct was to do this buttery fabric here, and I think I will. So let's cut ourselves out a door. How are we going for time? We got time? Yep. Just guesstimating it. And then there's a chance to put another fabric behind the door to make it pop out like I did with the church. Like that's where that green, olive green fabric came in. or you can just embroider around the door. As long as you show that the door is encased in the framework, I think really helps the eye realise that it's a door. So I've got a couple options there. I can go around it with another fabric or not. And I think this is a case of now the windows will definitely be fabric as well. So the windows, I just can't decide. I think I might need to embroider first the framework of the house. Time will tell. When you start stitching, it's when it all... I'd be pretty confident I'm going to do some fabric, but be a surprise when I come back. I'll probably come back in the next video altogether because I'll see how we go. I might edit it in at the end. Yeah, I'd say I will. I'll stitch for the few hours on it and see how we go. It's just rough. Once you couch threads down, you're getting a straight line by laying down your thread. Then you come back over it with needle and thread and secure it into position. And it's a lovely way of getting nice straight lines for architecture. The window's a bit out. Mind you, this window is going to be very much covered by flowers, but that's all good. Just don't know about that. I think it's the wrong colour. I think I'm going to hunt out some fabric that's more this tone. See, it's got a very burnt tone about it. So to me, that's just not quite the right colour. So I'm thinking I'm not going to use that door. So some windows. Now Susanna's put little ledges on the windows, which is lovely. Just a little kick out. Just adds that little extra detail. And then straight line it. Now I'll probably run 2 threads around all of those windows just to thicken up the look of them. Otherwise they look a bit too childlike. And every window has timber around it, like it's not just the glass. So they'll do an extra bit of stitching around that. But the glass itself, pretty straightforward. And she's done two crosses. Makes a difference when you draw back in your design, doesn't it? Can see it again. If you decide to do a fabric here that you can't see through, I think with a photo you'd come pretty close to being able to get your image back. Yeah. Now I used, how are we going for time? Plenty of time. I just want to make a decision on these windows. We're definitely not using that buttery fabric. I used back in the early part of the series some fabrics more like that. And I think I want to try, firstly, the door out of this little piece. and then I can use white thread on top of it, and I just think that's so pretty. Gives you that icing, makes it look like frosting. There we go. That's better. So it's more subtle. That would be okay if it was just peeking through in the background like that. So it's pushed it back a little bit, but I think I can achieve that with thread. I don't think I need to go to that degree. I did with the little church. I got that little green edge in there. I don't think I've got the space here to pull that off. And then what colour would I use? See, that green was just the perfect. I think I can achieve that with white paint, as in white thread. So that is going to be the door. I think I can glue him in. Now the question is, do we use that for the windows? Or do we pick another tone? It has to match that colour. One door. Okay, and then the detail of the door. Will be stitched. That didn't work too well, did it? My lines are a little bit out. You want the middle. That's better. And then we can do something around it to denote that it's a door. Should be using a ruler. There we go. And then she's got door handles like that. Give or take a bit. All right, windows. We've got time. What about, could we put lace in the windows? That would then look like curtains. Are they going to be big? Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Look, what if we snip off this little piece of lace? That gets stitched in. Then we go round it. It's probably now going to be short because I didn't make it. Yes. That would then look like we've got lace curtains in the window in behind. We then go around the perimeter. We then put our, where's my thread? Let's say we use a blue thread. We might even just use cream, but see, we do the windows across the lace, that stitching. So then that, I think it'll just add that little bit extra detail. It might be a bugger to stitch around, but we'll give it a go. I'll just cut the two just in case I abandon the idea and just put fabric in there, but I'm liking the idea that we've got a hint of lace there. Okay, so we'll grab that little morsel out and pop it in our working tray, which I haven't started on yet. The other suggestion, if that didn't look right, but I think it will, I think that would be pretty, so we won't look for another suggestion. I want to put some guttering on the house, like lace on the house to snazzy it up. It's not a house, It's a schoolhouse. What about... You'll know when it's the right one. That's pretty good. But I don't love it. I think I want to do it there, to be honest. And I'll need to lift it up a little bit. Yeah. Oh, that's it. And if it comes across a little bit further, do we be as finicky as turn one that way? It's that little corner, one that way. We can, because I can angle it. How's it finish up this end? Oh, it finishes up perfectly. So that's very doable. We can have one little scallop tilted. This will end nicely right there. Okay, decided. Now the last thing we got to do is that the railing. I had in my mind some form of braid along there. Have I got braids out? Oh, hello. Look at this. Look at that. Wouldn't that make a great fence? Oh my goodness. See, in my head, I had these in mind, but I don't even have the right colour. I know I have a cream, but it's obviously not where it should be. So that's the end of that idea. But look at this. Oh, glamorous. It's a braid with pearls in it. Now, I got that from Spotlight. Go Aussie girls. That one you can easily access. Is there a code on it if you wanted to order online? Yeah, there is. 18753410955C would be probably what's on their website if you have to order and you can't get to Spotlight. Oh, hello. Check that out. And it works perfectly lengthwise once that's trimmed a little and stitched. Beautiful. Yeah, I think all the stitching's going to be white. Gosh, I've gone over the hour now. And look at this. We could do a fence, a schoolyard fence. Hang on. Let's get rid of this. Oh, then I didn't put my stopper in the glue, so now that's all sealed up. Seriously. We could do a fence line across all of these with our flowers again. Yes. Oh, I love it. All right. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye. Like, I think you got the general gist of our decision making. I've got such a mess here. I will focus on this, get it stitched, and then in the next video, I'll come back and we will start building our foliage around our two houses. Okay? All right, guys, have a great day. Can you tell I'm excited? I just want to get in there and get stitching. So I'm going to toddle off and get my little schoolhouse finished. Yeah, it's definitely a schoolhouse for me. I can just see the kiddies in there. And I bet it's the wife to the vicar. Anyway, I'm going to go. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.